Good late morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging. Well, coming at you with thoughts of the day. A couple things. I think I've solved the mystery of the universe just in the last hour. And remember how I told you about how I was looking into those? I got sick of investigating conspiracies and such, and I needed to scrub my brain last week, so I looked at Partridge Family and Brady Bunch documentaries. Ever since then, oh my God, make it stop. That I Think I Love You song's in my brain. I think I love you, so what am I so afraid of? I mean, oh my God. Stop it. Make it quit. I wake up in the morning and automatically it just kicks in. Click. That's how it goes. Songs will stay in my head for a solid month, and it's very irritating. I could look on the bright side. It might be sort of scrambling the channels of any extraterrestrial life, reading my mind or controlling my thoughts or making me do weird things like this video series. In case you're wondering, I'm having kind of an issue with my peace sign is reflecting, somehow the sun's hitting it and it's freaking me out. Let's try this again. The fake sun, probably. Okay, listen, here's the deal. You can't look at conspiracies without, I swear, every conspiracy has some link to the Freemasons in it, okay? So it's like you can't, I don't know, pick strawberries without getting your hands red, okay? Kind of like that. I mean, everything, everything you look up, there's always this Freemason stuff, and a lot of times it's not speaking very well of the Freemasons. So I've looked at a couple different things and read several articles over the last, I don't know, week or something, give or take, in between I Think I Love You. And what I'm gathering, ladies and gentlemen, now, for some of you diehard Freemason haters, I guess, I don't think anybody really hates them. Just try to think of it this way, maybe, because this is kind of the conclusion I'm drawing so far, okay? First of all, if you look back at the so-called founding fathers, which I really don't like calling them that, ladies and gentlemen, but what else am I going to call them? The framers of the Constitution? Yeah, I'm just going to stick with founding fathers, okay? The founders, how's that? Okay, a lot of them were total Freemasons. So when we hear this, we were founded as a Christian nation stuff, in reality, if anything, it's more of a Freemason type nation. Now, is there anything wrong with that? In and of itself, are they evil? Do they worship the devil? Do they dance naked in the moonlight? I think that Benjamin Franklin probably did. He was pretty interesting. I think if I could date any founding father, it'd be Benjamin Franklin, because he seems like a lot of fun. God, I mean, he's not very attractive from what I've seen, but I think he'd be sort of fun, you know what I mean? Like, behind closed doors, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Sometimes I get frisky. Generally not for Benjamin Franklin, but okay. Moving along. I was just wondering, like, is this Freemasonry in and of itself an evil, so-called evil thing? Why is it demonized? What's the deal? After all, Shriners are Freemasons, right? And they do a lot of good. My God, the Shriners Hospital for Children, hospitals, they're just a great community thing. I know that a lot of people probably get upset because it's all men, it's a all-man organization. I don't think you can be a woman to join this. Maybe they have a little satellite, little masonettes or something. I'm not sure. So anyhow, what the overall theme that I've been seeing as of late, and I've watched several documentaries and I've done some reading on it. In fact, I'm going to link a documentary about the founders into probably the comment section. Since I didn't do it before this video, I didn't save the link. Okay, here's what I'm gathering is there's always been this battle here since the get-go. Christian nation, not Christian nation. Were we founded on Judeo-Christian values? You hear that a lot. Or not, Yes, of course, God's totally involved in the founding of the country. No, God's not involved. Back and forth like a ping pong ball. I do know that the Constitution is godless. There's no mention of Jesus Christ in there. whatsoever. You can look it up yourself if you'd like. Do not shoot the messenger. Get upset with those founding fathers. All right. What I'm thinking is, because of this constant battle between the two, that somehow in the history of mankind, that the Christians, I don't know what sect or whatever, just a group of diehard Christians wanted to make the Freemasons look, kind of put them in a bad light, maybe. This is just something that could be true, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying it's written in stone. I don't think anything's written in stone. As you know, I don't even know if I'm sitting here right now. Could be a bad dream. I could be in a coma, and I'm imagining all this, okay? So, yeah, I think that it could be that there have been elements at work to kind of suppress some history and make people think that Christianity is, the true history, the only way, blah, 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 and they might have been giving this Freemason thing a bad name. Now, hang on a minute. I'm just going to look away. I don't like my profile. That's why I try not to turn to the side, but I do. It looks like I have 18 chins, and I just don't care for it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like my profile, and you know that my arms are chubby. The rest of me is downright wonderful, though. Let's face it, please. Where was I? Because this was going to be important, and now I've gone absolutely blank. Okay, wait. Just let me bring it around. Oh, yeah. Okay. In the documentary that I'm going to link you to below at some point, they bring out that some of this bizarre, propaganda against the Freemasons was actually brought forward by a Freemason who supposedly, gave up these histories, and, Satan was involved, and satanic worship, and things like that. Yeah, so they indicated in the video, I think, that he might have been somewhat of controlled opposition to, I'm not sure why to throw light on this subject or whatever, but I'm not really sure about it. But I think that's a possibility. Now, listen carefully. God, a lot of our founding principles, especially, and the one they mention the most here, is separation of church and state, ladies and gentlemen. That comes directly from, I'm just going to call it the Masonic history book, the Masonic Bible. I don't know if it's really a Bible. The Masonic literature, the rules and regulations of Masonry. Yeah, it's in there. That's where we get the idea. This is where we get the idea of one man, one vote. Remember, men ruled the day. Also, the separation of powers in government, all of that comes out of this Freemasonry, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the deal with them in terms of the separation of church and state. First of all, you know that little, what's it called, a compass thing they use? It's this and it has that. It's a compass. They use it in Mason work. It's their symbol. Okay. In the middle, there's a G. That stands for two things, God and geometry. And in order to be a Mason, you have to just, boy, I'm surrounded by flies. You just have to, oh my God, maybe I'm possessed by the devil or something. Okay. You have to just acknowledge a higher power, not like the God of the Bible necessarily, although Christians can also be Mason, but God, like a God, a creative power, a higher power, a deist power, whatever you want to call it. You just have to admit that there is one somewhere. And then there's the geometry angle. So those are the two things. So that's why, these men felt in this Freemason movement that if they could come from all kinds of different religious backgrounds, some deists, some Christians, some who knows what, just accepting the higher power kind of idea, the G part, one of the two G parts, that should be the norm for everybody, that we should have the separation, still work together, ladies and gentlemen, but not necessarily, it has to be my way or the highway deal. So the very first thing they're mentioning in all of these docus that I've looked at is that the separation of church and state, and how that comes in through the Freemasonry. What's his name? Jefferson was a total Freemason. Washington, Jefferson, Franklin, I believe they said 13 of the people that signed that came up with the Constitution, like the ones in the Constitutional Convention, I think they said 13 of those gentlemen there were Freemason, and I believe they said 9 that signed the Declaration of Independence. So we are steeped in Freemasonry, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing, Tom Harvin, sometimes when he opens his show, he says, welcome to the city of the goddess or something, and it's the District of Columbia. And so I've been listening to and looking at, reading up, whatever, getting information about DC and how it's laid out. Very interesting. A lot of, Freemason type things everywhere. The layout of the city itself is very Masonic, as well as esoteric. See, even in Freemasonry, they kind of acknowledge or allude to there's some other hidden hand at play. The hidden hand, the Illuminati, the 1%, all that stuff I like to do. I like to call it the hidden hand. That there's something else kind of even above Freemasons that's sort of guiding them. And this is where you might get into, say, what many of us call ETs or, our alien roots or something like that, or ancient astronaut theory, whatever. So it is really fascinating to me, and I think that it very well could be. Because I'm trying to think, what have these Masons done that is so appallingly hideous? I mean, I don't think they did the Crusades, ladies and gentlemen, did they? I believe that was Christian. So, yeah, or the Inquisition and all that stuff. So I was just sort of wondering, why is everybody freaking out over, like that Zachariah Sitchin? He's a Mason, he's a Mason. Well, okay, so was Thomas Jefferson. What, does that really mean anything? I just didn't get it. So I thought, why not look into it? Crazy, I know. I'm so weird that I look into things that society deems to be socially unacceptable. I'm the first one on the job. So that's all. I'm going to go back right now. There's so much more to this. I mean, my goodness. I'm going to go copy the link and I'll put it in the comment section. There you have it. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while talking about Masons versus Christians and how that could be the big conspiracy and the major secret of the universe. Secret of, I've figured it out. I haven't really, of course. Because this all could be fake. As I said, I could be dead right now talking. And I'm sure some of you wish I were. Bye-bye now. Oh, please drop your political identity. Join together with me. Let's focus on issues in order to make this world a better place.